Well, today we're at Johnston Canyon Trail. Actually, I'm standing right in front of the Johnston Canyon campground, and now we're going to check out Johnston Canyon. But we've already been here before. We've been here last winter, and I'll post a link about that video for you guys to check out. But I find that it's way better to see, especially in the winter time, because of those huge walls of ice all over the place. So instead, we're gonna go all the way back up to the ink pots that we missed last year because it was actually too cold to get there. It was minus 32, I think, when we got to the parking lot. And after 2 hours of hiking, we just had to trek back and we didn't quite make it to the ink pot. So we're gonna go back up there. We're gonna go do a little bit of detour around the trail so we don't go through Johnston's Canyon. So we're gonna try to find a little trail that veers in behind the main lodge area, the Moose Meadows. You can go through the ink pots through there. So we're gonna try to avoid the crowds altogether. I'm gonna show you guys that on the map where to go through. So let's hit the trail, guys. I am in behind the lodges here that are at the Johnston Canyon lodges. You kind of pass through them as you want to go check out the canyon, but they're actually doing construction on the upper falls. So you can't actually go see the upper falls today, even if you wanted to, and the lower falls, we've been there before. So if you come up to where the lodges are, there's like a little tennis court here, and if you wrap around the tennis court, you're gonna see this little gate here. I think they put the gate there so that people don't try to drive up there, because you're not going to make it very far, maybe a few hundred meters. But this is the trail to go out to bypass the canyon. So we're going to be following the canyon ridge, but we're going to be not on the river side, because as we keep going up, that ridge is going to get higher and higher and higher, and then we can't get back out of there. So we need to kind of go on top of the ridge and then follow it all the way back to the ink pots. So let's hit the trail, guys. Peace out. It's only a few switchbacks and maybe 1.5 kilometers from the start where you come across this little opening here. This kind of veers off, and there's some switchbacks at the far back that leads down to the lower falls. You can tell here they're using this area to bring in equipment and this and that to come and do some construction down there to fix the ramp. So we can't go down there, it's a construction zone, but instead this is where the trail veers off. It's not really noticeable from the public side anyways. It veers off that way and it heads out to the Moose Meadow Trail, which leads to the ink pots. So normally if you're coming here and you're going to the ink pots, you'll be following Johnston Canyon, going to the lower falls and then the upper falls, and then you can come out and join the trail. You can tell them behind me here too, you got a really creepy smoky view of the mountains. It's smoke season and there's a lot of forest fires going on right now, and it's kind of typical. Sometimes it's in August, sometimes it's in September, but there's always a smoke season in the Rockies. But we'll make the best of it. So let's head on back on the trail to find those ink pots. Well, it's a warm, muggy day, but we're making it slowly up there. It's a good 28 degrees here. If you came up the upper falls, you would come up here and you come across this side, which leads you to Moose Meadows, back that way, which is 3.2 kilometers. And then the Inkpots, which where we're going today, it's another 3 kilometers from here. And then there's the Mystic Pass, 11K, and Maligne Lake, which is another 14K. Then if you're coming back down from the other side, you'll see Johnston Canyon, Bow Parkway. As you can see, there's some construction still going on here. And this would be the road that brings you down to the upper falls. It's an interesting little trail. It's just for utility and for access with quads and stuff, that for the backcountry sites is my guess. That's why this is here, because it's not a hiking trail at all. It's literally just like a quad road. I think the bulk of the elevation gain here is already done. So we just have a little bit to go to reach these Inkpots. Yeah, it's so far it's 185 meters of elevation gain, so it's kind of minor, but it's all in little swoops. You'll find a flat spot and then it goes up, and then flat spot and then it goes up. So it's pretty easy that way. Very distinct colors over here, and I'm curious as to the formation. This is like black mud, black dirt. This is very bizarre. It is clay. So it's definitely a little bit what I seen in Jasper at the Becca Slough, where there was a lot of clay, but this stuff here, you can tell it's clay, but it's like completely different color. So I don't know if it's because of the rock formations or how this clay is black. It's beyond me, but it's very impressive. So I can see how this place kind of got abused over the years. So people come and visiting this place because there's places where all the vegetation is gone, which is kind of sad, but At least now they have these little bridges and we can walk around and stay on these paths and not damage these gorgeous little ink pots. So let's do a little a walk around here and show you guys what this place looks like. And not only that, you're stuck inside this gorgeous little valley while you're checking out these ink pots here. Zoom behind me there, it doesn't really get any better than this. In 1996, Parks Canada set out to restore this fragile area. Spring water percolates up through the sand and river gravel here to form 5 blue-green pools known as the ink pots. Looking for swirling circles in the sandy pool bottoms, these mark the outlets of water and air bubbles as they move upwards from the underground springs. The milk green pools fill very slowly, thus have a heavier suspension of fine material than the clear, deep blue pools. The ink pots are cool in the spring, and the shallow depths of the underground spring keeps the water temperature around 4 Celsius much of the year. So these little ink pots here, they could probably be very similar to the ones that you can find in Jasper. Just that the ones in Jasper, it seems like they're further back and you can't really get access to them. So you might need a canoe or a paddleboard to go check them out. But it's probably bubbling up like this because if you look at the topography around that area, there's no where water should come from. And it seems like there's an infinite amount of water coming out of there. So it's very, very similar to this. And as you can tell here, that's quite a bit of water that's flowing out of here, out of nowhere. So it's basically a natural spring. There's so much water coming out of here that's how much water is flowing out. It's as fast as a regular size creek, basically. Very, very rare geological formation. That is the water just bubbling up from underneath these springs. And because it's all sand, I know this looks like it's on the surface of the water, but this is not. I'm trying to show you guys here as best I can. But this is inside the water. See here? The smaller pool, obviously, it bubbles up faster. You can see the water coming in, and hence why there's more current flow. Some of these bigger pools of water, now I'm noticing the water bubbling up. There might only be 1 or 2 spots way in the middle. So and these are bigger pools of water, so they're slower to move. And that's also what makes the different colors between the blue and the green, depending on how much water flow there is in here. You can't go wrong with this gorgeous valley view in behind us here. This is the Johnston Canyon ink pots, right in the middle of Banff National Park. And I'm Eric Tremblay, and these are my adventures. Peace out.